I've represented Canada in Michigan now for a little more than a couple of years. My country actually has maintained a consulate here since 1948 in Detroit. That's how important the Michigan relationship is to us. And increasingly, Canadians who don't have my luxury, which is of living among you, are nonetheless flocking to your state. Last year, 2.4 million Canadians visited Michigan. That was up from 1.4 million the year before. We Canadians, it would seem, just can't get enough of pure Michigan. Now, I'm here today mostly to talk with you about a bridge, the proposed new international trade crossing. Let me begin with a little context. Our two countries, and I think probably everyone in this room knows this, share the world's largest two-way trade relationship. Last year, it reached $689 billion. 8 million United States jobs depend on trade with Canada, and those tend to be very good jobs. Our trade continues to grow quite fast, more than 10% in each of the past 2 years. The Michigan-Canada trade relationship is growing even faster, 43% in the past 2 years. We are one another's best customers by far. Canada trades more with Michigan than we do not only with any other state in the Union, but with any other country in the world, save and except the United States as a whole. And almost half of everything Michigan sells to the world is bought in Canada, including 20% of everything grown on Michigan farms in this state. In fact, you sell more to Canada than you do to your next 16 global trade destinations put together. And more than 235,000 jobs in Michigan depend on trade with Canada. Now, given the magnitude of this trade and the jobs in both of our countries that depend on it, getting things back and forth reliably and predictably is pretty important. Our shared Great Lakes are a wonderful resource, but they do complicate the movement of goods. Given North America's population and industrial concentrations, almost half of all U.S.-Canada trade, almost half of the world's largest two-way trade relationship, crosses the Michigan-Ontario frontier, and fully 1/4 of all U.S.-Canada trade crosses the 83-year-old Ambassador Bridge. Seeing an additional bridge built at Detroit has for a long time been Canada's #1 national infrastructure priority. Michiganders should not embrace it for that reason alone, but I would hope, considering the fact that we are one another's best customers and closest friends and allies, you would seriously consider the priority that we attach to it. When our Prime Minister came to Windsor and Detroit on the 15th of June to announce with Governor Snyder an agreement to proceed with the bridge, he called this a Canadian investment in the future of North American manufacturing. The agreement makes it crystal clear that Canada bears all costs and all liability for the project, and that Michigan bears none. That, of course, is not what the maroon-financed TV advertisements say, but nothing in those advertisements is true. Nothing. Your chamber endorsed the new international trade crossing some time ago. So have the Michigan Chamber and chambers in communities representing the overwhelming majority of Michiganders. Major unions, including the International Union of the UAW, and unions in all of the industries that will build this project, have likewise endorsed it. The Detroit 3 major automotive parts companies, iconic firms across this state like Amway, Kellogg, Dow Corning, Meyer, the list is very long, support it. Agricultural organizations are fully on side, so are the states of Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. Everyone, in fact, but the Maroons, seems to recognize that the economic future of this state and region depends on reliable cross-border transportation capacity existing predictably well into the future. And that it would be calamitous for companies and for their workers if there was nothing in place when the time does come that the Ambassador Bridge is no longer functional. Pretending it will enjoy eternal life is not a policy. We need insurance. That's what the new international trade crossing provides. There's no need to risk catastrophic disruption to the economy in this region. What you need to know from the Canadian government is the following. We have committed to bear full responsibility for the new international trade crossing. We will pay for the interchange on the US side. We will backstop the private sector builder of the bridge. If there are cost overruns, ultimately they are on us. If tolls are insufficient, that too will be on us. The state of Michigan pays nothing for this project and faces no liability. Canada will sign all contracts, another way of making it absolutely clear that Michigan will bear no obligations. The bridge is being built to last 125 years. Once it's fully paid for, we calculate by about year 45 or 50, Michigan's revenue over the ensuing 75 or 80 years will be between $3 and $4 billion, literally for free. The governments of Canada and Michigan have repeatedly made clear that there will only be US or Canadian-made steel in the project. The Maroons know that, yet they keep running TV ads implying that the project will be made of Chinese steel. For that lie, and it's a lie, and they know it is, and for all of the other lies that are contained in those ads, frankly, they should be ashamed of themselves. Those ads, indeed all of the Maroon ads, are offensive to Canadians. The inference is that we, my country, will renege on our signed legal obligation and leave Michigan with the bill. These ads, one should note, are paid for by the same scoundrels who reneged for 6 years on the Gateway project, designed to improve US access to their bridge, taking the people of Michigan for a $230 million ride. They only met their contractual commitment when they were thrown into jail twice in consecutive years. Let me assure you, the Government of Canada has made a binding commitment to the people of Michigan. We do not renege on our commitments. And when we say we will bear all of the cost of the project and all of the liability so that Michigan bears none, we are telling the truth. After a decade of game playing, it really is time to say enough already. The June 15th agreement is a triumph of vision and of courageous leadership. Let's make sure that sanity prevails on the 6th of November so that this vitally important project can proceed quickly to fruition in the interests of the people of our two great countries. Thank you very much.